2013 FY, the People versus Taylor Bowling.
Good morning, Judge Oxling, here for the people, plea number P86590.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alyssa Segura with the Neighborhood Defender Service, P86432, appearing on behalf of Taylor Bowling. I'll stand and say your name. Your Honor, I'm Taylor Bowling.
Okay, so it's the time and date set for preliminary exam. Is everyone ready to proceed?
Yes,
Yes,
Judge.
Okay. Any preliminary matters?
None for the people.
Judge, I would just have a mutual order of sequestration.
Exception for the officer in charge?
That's fine, Judge.
All right, exception for the officer in charge. Is there anyone here in the courtroom that's here on the Tyler Bowling case? Taylor Bowling? Are the two of you here on this?
I'm the victim. She was at work that day.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask, is the complaining witness your first
Yes, sir.
witness? Sir, if you can stay in, ma'am, I don't know if you have the potential to be a witness at
Okay.
trial. So I'm just gonna ask that you step in the hallway, okay? And sir, all right, so we're ready to go. Anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, call your first witness.
You call Matthew Stephen Gerwig.
Mr. Gurin?
Garrett, I'll spell it.
Garrett.
Garrett,
Garrett.
sorry.
All right, that's easy. Sir, can you come on up, and when you get to the top here, just stand and face me. Do you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you can have a seat. I want you to start by saying your first and last name and then spelling your first and last name.
Matthew Garrick, MATTHEWGERICK.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. Were you involved in an incident that occurred at the location of 9/4?
July 8th.
Yep, July
Okay,
8th,
go ahead.
2025. And that's in County of Wayne?
Yes,
And what is that location?
that would be her house,
Who's
And-
her?
Taylor Bowling.
And at that location, what happened?
That's where we were located, my Tortoise and all the stolen things that they took from the house.
And when you say, you said a tortoise and things stolen from the house,
That was tools, gardening equipment,
Judge, I guess I would object to lack of foundation. If we could just back up a bit.
I'll ask it.
Sustained. Go ahead.
Describe the items that were taken.
I had Milwaukee impact driver, battery operated, that was stolen. They stole my Tortoise, they stole a grow tray, a 55-gallon drum. I had a 250-gallon stainless steel trough. Man, it was antique liquor bottles, license plates, vintage license plates, all types of things. They just kind of picked whatever they wanted out of the yard and took it.
And where were these items at that location?
They were located in a,
And,
That's where they originally were kept by you?
yes, yes.
Okay.
and the items were.
Ma'am,
I told you.
no, don't, if you're gonna whisper to your attorney, that's okay, but I don't need any theatrics. Okay, go.
Thank you, Judge. What was the estimated value of all these items that were taken?
Around $3,000.
And these items are personally your items?
Yes, Judge.
And you gave nobody permission to take these items?
Oh, absolutely not. I would never let anyone take a pet that I had for 13 years.
And did you end up, what did you end up doing to try and locate these items?
So that very next day when I got to the house, I noticed that there was stuff missing from the yard. And
When you say the next day, can we back up? Because I'm confused. So these items are all kept at your property on Wick Road?
yes,
All right. And you said on August or July 8th, you found them. But
Yes.
can you back up and tell me, when did you notice, when you say the day, the
Hey,
other,
we noticed they were missing the 8th.
on the July 8th?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you,
go
Judge.
ahead.
And what did you do when you noticed these items were missing?
I immediately called the police station. I called my boss and told him that my Tortoise was missing because I was supposed to leave for work that day. So it was gonna put everything on hold so that I could find him. And when I had told my boss about that, that's when we had found her pictures online on Facebook with the Tortoise.
When you say you found her, do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Taylor Bowling right there.
Please let the record reflect the witnesses identify the defendant.
Can you tell me an item of clothing
Oh,
she's
yes,
wearing?
sir.
She's wearing a white t-shirt.
Record shall so reflect.
Thank you, Judge. And You said you saw her with your items on where?
On Facebook, she actually took pictures of them and posted them online. So
And-
that's how we were able to find her and then, track her down to her house.
And the pictures of the photos with the defendant, were those the items that were taken from you?
Yeah, some of them.
And what did you do next?
And that's when we called the police department, told them I had found out where my tortoise was. And I requested their help to come back and get it before it turned into another situation.
And what happened next?
The police department showed up. We went over to her house. The cops talked to her for a little bit. They found all my stuff in the backyard and they arrested her.
One moment, Judge. No further questions.
All right, go ahead. Cross.
Yes, Judge. Sir, you indicated that the house in Taylor was a property that you own, correct?
Which house in Taylor? The Wick Road
The
house?
Wick Road house.
Yes.
And you don't live there though, correct?
No, I do live there.
You do live there.
Yes. I have a certificate of occupancy for the house and that is my single house.
Do you remember talking to the police on the day of this incident on the 8th?
I just moved in there recently.
Just answer the listen to the question, answer the question, okay? She's not.
Yes,
You do remember talking with the police?
yes,
Okay, and you remember telling the police that you live in Southgate, Michigan, correct?
I have more than one house, ma'am.
Okay, and do you also remember telling them that you did not live at the address on Wick Road?
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember telling them that?
No.
Okay, give me 1 second. Do you recall telling them that you were not living at the address because you were doing renovations there?
I had been doing some work there, but we lived there on and off. I don't,
The last time that you were at the address before the 8th was Thursday, the 3rd, is that correct? July 3rd?
last day I was there, yes. But I have an 18-year-old son that has a driver's license that goes and checks on the tortoise. And I also have a wife that goes over there and checks on him also.
Okay, so they go over to this property to check on the tortoise.
Yes,
Okay, but they don't live there on a day-to-day basis, is that correct?
no.
Okay,
But
And-
what does it matter if they live there on a day-to-day basis? when
Just
she
let,
broke in
sir,
and
don't
saw
argue,
stuff?
listen.
hold on.
Listen, look at me, listen, focus. She's allowed to ask questions. Just answer her questions. She can make her argument. The prosecutor gets a chance to ask you more questions, okay?
Okay.
Just answer the questions and I don't know if it matters or not yet. So that's why, just answer her questions, be honest, let's get through this. Fair?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
So on July 8th, you were going over to the house to cut the grass, is that correct?
Yes,
On Wick Road?
yes,
Okay, and so you would agree that the grass was somewhat overgrown?
sure.
Okay, and you indicated that the tortoise lives at that Wick address, is that correct?
Yes,
In the backyard?
in his own apartment.
Okay, and that apartment that you're referring to is a shed, is that correct?
It has a garage attached to it, water and electricity. So if that's what you want to call a shed, you could.
Okay. Well, I believe that that's what you told the police, isn't that correct?
I never said shed.
No, what was the word that you used?
It's a 1-bedroom apartment.
I'm talking about where the tortoise goes.
He has his own apartment. That's what I tell everybody. If you would like to get my boss in here, my wife, they'll tell you that's the joke. I have a tortoise that has his own apartment.
Okay, but I'm not asking about
Does
the
he
joke.
live in, let me just ask, does
He
he live
lives in the apartment.
Listen, calm down. We can get you, I'll put you in the back. This isn't a joke and we're not gonna make a mockery of the court. Listen, but I understand that's the joke. What I'm trying to figure out, is it a garage with an apartment on top?
It's a side-by-side
Okay.
garage. There's a 1-car garage on one side and a
And an
1-bedroom
apartment?
apartment on the other.
Okay, and the tortoise stays in the apartment
Yeah, he gets the
connected to
door
the
open,
garage?
yeah.
We can't talk over each other.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Segura, go.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Just to reiterate, you did inform the officer that the tortoise is kept in the backyard and you leave the shed door open for him to access a shelter. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Additionally, you indicated that when you went to the apartment, you observed that items were missing. Is that right?
yes,
Okay, but you did not personally observe Miss Bowling take the items from your property, correct?
no,
Okay, and you have no personal knowledge of Miss Bowling aside from these Facebook posts that you observed, correct?
no,
So on direct examination, you informed the prosecutor that the total amount of items that was stolen was about $3,000. Would you agree?
yes.
Okay. Do you remember giving a price to Officer Twardy of all of the items taken of your property?
No, because we never actually had a solid number. We were just tossing stuff around. I was told to add everything up and bring it to court with me.
Okay, and so the day that you recovered the items from the backyard of Miss Bowling's address, you were going through a truck bed, is that correct?
Yeah, that's where the stuff was.
Okay, and after going through the items, well, while you were going through the items, Officer Twardy was writing a list down of everything that was taken, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay,
Everything that was taken or everything that was recovered?
everything that was recovered. Thank
Okay,
you, Judge. And then while he was going down that list, then he said, okay, now give me a ballpark of what these items cost. Do you remember that conversation with him?
Yeah, it was a month ago.
Okay, and in giving that total of those items, you would agree that you were giving the price that you purchased them for, correct?
Sure.
Okay. And do you recall how long ago you purchased those items?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Okay, and would you say it was like over 4 years ago or 5 years ago?
Tortoise is 13 years old. The electric impact was 2 years old. All the tools out of my toolbox, those are 10+ years old. I had them from my first job at the envelope factory.
Okay, and the tools that you mentioned, so they were 10+ years old?
There's a whole set of tools, yeah.
Okay, and do you recall giving a total of those to the officer on that day?
I do not.
Okay, would you? Find the tools specifically, okay, would reviewing the report that Officer Twardy put together refresh your recollection?
Maybe?
Judge, may I approach?
you may.
After you review the total value, when your memory is refreshed, please look up at me.
There's missing things here.
Yeah, that's
This is not a whole complete list to add off of.
correct. I'm just asking for the tools specifically, which is the last one.
The bottom one here,
Yes.
5 1,000-watt ballast lights. That
Yes,
one is $700, yeah,
yes, okay, so your memory is refreshed.
kind of, sure.
Okay, and you just reiterated that the amount was $700, is that correct?
For the one item, yes.
Okay, and that was the amount that you paid for them, correct?
Probably.
Okay. And then along with all of the other items, you would agree that there was empty beer kegs,
Yes.
a wheelbarrow,
Yep.
some shovels,
Yep.
inflatable rafts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you said like old license plates?
Yep.
Okay. Also, do you recall speaking with a detective a day or so after this incident?
I was called briefly just to see if I had talked to anybody else, and then that was it.
Okay, in regards to the tortoise, do you remember having a conversation with him about the tortoise?
Oh, yeah, yeah, we did.
Okay,
We did talk about the tortoise, sorry.
No.
I was on my way to Louisiana that day.
no, you're fine. And so in talking about the tortoise, well, first off, you indicated that you got the tortoise 13 years ago, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and where did you get the tortoise from?
Bought it from a reptile show in Kalamazoo.
Reptile show in Kalamazoo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and was it like a reputable buyer or seller, I guess? Do they have a license?
It was a whole reptile breeder. Yeah, he was I don't remember the name of the breeder, but he had a whole bunch of snakes and a whole bunch of tortoises.
Okay.
And
So like he would sell
Is it-
items
yeah.
like this?
yes, that's what he did for
Okay.
a living.
And have you ever gotten your tortoise appraised?
No, I've never had this one appraised, no.
Okay, and additionally, you indicated that all of the items that you had taken from you, the ballpark number that you threw out was $3,000. Do you have any documentation today that shows the value of those items?
I don't have it with me today, but if you would like me to go and find you some values for all these items, I could absolutely do that.
Okay, I just didn't, no need to do that. I was just asking for today's purposes.
Yeah, I've already found,
Okay,
like if I had to replace that tortoise, I would be able to buy one that is 10 inches smaller and it's $1,700.
Okay.
For just the smaller tortoise.
the smaller tortoise.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
okay, understood. Last question I have for you, and I know you didn't bring it, I'm assuming you didn't bring it today, but the Facebook posts of Miss Bowling, did you provide those to the police department? I know you showed them to them, but did you ever?
no, they didn't, that's what I think, I've never brought them, but they're actually in my cell phone. I think my wife has it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you never showed it to, or I guess
The
you
cops
never,
on the scene seen it.
Okay.
But the detectives, I haven't been in here to talk to anybody yet. Everything's been done Zoom.
okay, understood. I have no further questions, Judge.
Any redirect?
Nothing further on the view, Judge.
Can this witness be excused?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. You're all set. Any further witnesses?
The people just gonna call Officer Torby, it'll be relatively quick.
All right, can you spell the last name for me?
Yes, TWARDY.
Artie, okay. Officer Tardy, you can come on around here to the witness stand. Can you stand and face me and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have a seat there at that witness chair. I want you to start by saying your first and last name and spelling your first and last name.
My first and last name, Dylan Twardy. First name is spelled D-Y-L-A-N. Last name is spelled T-W-A-R-D-Y.
All right, thank you. Your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. And where do you work at?
The Taylor Police Department.
And are you an officer?
Yes, sir.
And were you an officer on the date of 07/08/2025?
Yes, sir.
And did your work bring you to the location of 94180?
Correct.
And that's in County of Wayne.
Yes.
And what brought you to that location?
It was a call for service that I was handling.
And when you got to the location, what happened?
At the Holland address, I made contact with the defendant in this case.
When you're saying the defendant and you made contact with, can you please point to that person you made contact with and identify the piece of clothing they're wearing?
Yes, the defendant is sitting right there wearing a white t-shirt.
Please let the record reflect the witnesses identify the defendant.
The record shall so reflect.
And when you made contact with the defendant, what happened?
My partner and I had informed the defendant that we were investigating a larceny case. We had indicated that there was a missing tortoise from the victim. The defendant subsequently admitted to being in possession of said tortoise.
So the defendant said to you that she had the tortoise.
Yes.
And what did you do?
My partner had informed the defendant that the victim was just looking to get his tortoise back. At that point, the defendant had retrieved the tortoise for us from an enclosed cage in her backyard.
And what happened next?
At that point, when I witnessed the defendant go back to retrieve the tortoise, I noted a white pickup truck next to the enclosed cage that had a large pile of numerous items in the bed of the truck.
And did you look at those items?
Briefly did. I did not approach the truck at that time, but I just witnessed the items from where I was standing at that moment.
And did you eventually go look at the items up closer?
Eventually, yes.
And what happened next?
My partner and I had asked the defendant about that truck and the items in the bed. I do not recall any specific statements that the defendant made regarding the specific items in the truck, but I had noted to the defendant that the victim was just looking to retrieve his property back. At what point the defendant provided consent for the victim to come onto the property to retrieve any items that may be his.
And did the victim come to the property?
Yes,
And did the victim recover his items?
yes.
No further questions, Judge.
Cross.
I have no questions, Judge.
Can this witness be excused?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any further witnesses?
No further witnesses from the people, Judge.
Defense isn't calling any witnesses, Judge.
Thank you. All right, closing.
Yes,
Anything?
Judge, people, motion to bound over on count one. The first witness Matthew, Garrick, testifies that there were items taken, and the items holding a value, estimated value of over $3,000. The items were not, given permission to anyone to take those items. The defendant, as the victim stated, posted those items on Facebook. The defendant saw those items on Facebook. The defendant then went to the location for Officer Twardy, who testified that the defendant admitted to taking the Tortoise, and the victim went there and recovered the items that were taken from him as well. The people motion to bind over on count one.
Judge, we would object to the bind over in this matter. According to the jury instruction for receiving and concealing stolen property, the third element is, let me actually take that back. The fourth element is that the property had a fair market value when it was bought, received, possessed, concealed of. And in this instance, it's being charged as 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. And under Michigan Criminal Jury Instruction 22.1, to determine the fair market value of property, you have to apply the fair market value test. And so that test, defines what fair market value is. And it's defined as the price the property would have sold for in the open market at the time and in the place that the items were possessed. And so in this instance, Judge, he gave a number of $3,000. And in talking with him, he did admit that the amount that he gave to Officer Twardy on that day for all of the items was what he had purchased the items for. And so in talking with him, additionally, Judge, he indicated that some of the items were purchased as long as 10 years plus ago. And so as obviously we're all aware as to how society and the market works, items that were purchased do not sell for what they were purchased for. They're the amount that they were purchased for. So if I buy tools 10 years ago that were $700, there's no telling how much those tools would cost or be sold for today. And so that is what the determination has to be in a receiving and concealing case when the amount is at issue. And additionally, Judge, he provided no documentation as to the value of these items. Some of the items that he was referring to were old license plates. I mean, how do you put a value on that, Judge? So for that reason, I would argue that the people have failed to meet their burden to establish even by a probable cause standard, the fourth element of what the fair market value of the property that was possessed was. And so for that reason, Judge, I would object to the bind over.
All right, thank you. I don't need a response.
Thank you.
The witness testified that with respect to the argument made by defense counsel, the witness testified to a long list of property that was taken, gardening equipment, tools, rafts. I mean, there was so much. And the tortoise, he estimated the value to be around $3,000. The court can also use common sense and reason, and the jury instructions say that. And certainly that's a question of fact for a trier of fact, but he testified the tortoise alone, if he wanted to repurchase a tortoise on the tortoise market, the cost of the tortoise would be $1,800 for one of the smaller size. I mean, I don't know if they cost more based on size, but just the cost of the tortoise alone, he told us what he looked at and what it would cost. And just based on that alone, he's meet the threshold of $1,000. As to the other items, it's a question of fact for a trier of fact. So I do find that the defendant or the prosecutors met their burden by preponderance of the evidence, which is all that's needed for today as to count one. And the defendant will be bound over to Third Circuit Court for future proceedings on the charges and the complaint and warrant, and the arraignment on the information date is September 8th of 2025.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay.